Want me to try it?
I think it's going on tonight, man. Got a whole bunch of things going on at one time. Guess what? We don't give a damn. Your boy K Styles, aka the Six Man. Screen left side of the thing. You know him as Senator, Mad Mike Sports.
Yeah, yeah.
And joining us this evening on this STS, we have El Grande, aka the Don, in the building.
What's good? Y'all remember Irma Lagasse?
Emerald Lagat. Oh boy, that was my show
Irma
right there.
Lagasse. Y'all remember he used to call stuff that he put in his food essence.
Yeah,
Why the hell he just didn't say
but but
seasoning? Why he just
but
didn't say seasoning?
you know,
He
he had to add some extra stuff to it. You know, boy, I'm telling you, boy, Emerald Lagat, boy, the Food Network was on a constant 24/7 rotation in my childhood, boy.
Man, I love the OG Food Network back because they cook stuff I ate. Now these days they be having competitions and making food I ain't never heard of. Sliced, sliced infused cucumber,
Mm-hmm.
a reduced sweet potato. What the?
Cause you
Bro, you gotta
had,
put
cause
some
it was,
marshmallows and some brown sugar on that and put that junk back in the oven. I do
cause,
the reducing.
right. Cause the ones I used to remember, it was Mario Bellatelli, it was East Meets West with Ming Tsai, it
Mm-hmm.
was Emerald Lagasse, Iron Chef, and I'm
Bobby
trying to
Flay,
remember
and then
what
yeah,
was
what's
the
the dude name? He was from Atlanta, Alton Brown, Alton
Alton
something.
Brown, yeah,
Yeah, he from the Atlanta area.
right. So yeah, that's why that was a good, like you said, that used to be on my rotation all the time, every day after school. It was Food Network and Cartoon Network.
Yep. We
Ah,
just had it on because we
so
like to eat in our family. So
now I'm hungry now. Thanks a lot, Don. Now I'm hungry in the mud now.
I'm eating right now as we speak.
We know. I just got finished eating myself.
I'm just eating healthy as usual. So
Right. But hey man, today's episode, like not whisper talk about to see I am woke. That's why we pushed everything back so I can be woke. Well, try to be. But today's STS, we just pretty much gonna be going off a topic that was suggested by Mad Mike Sports, which is ego and the toxic traits of ego and perfection, and knowing when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Never go past the finish line. So Mike says this is your suggestion on the topic at hand, man. Um, what is your idea of ego, man? Let you go ahead and kick us off with this.
Um, ego has, different faces. Um, and it's largely due to um, how can I put this? Ego. So it's largely due. Well, it has a number of causes, but ego pretty much is um how you view yourself a lot of the times, how you feel as though that your life should be. Um, a lot of ego is built through a lot of positive affirmations about said skill. Um, like for me, growing up, like I didn't struggle in sports. Like I was damn near good at everything except for soccer. I couldn't kick a damn ball to save my life, but I was pretty much just good at. I was just good at everything. Running, basketball, football, baseball. I'm a switch hitter in baseball. Like a good pitcher. I could throw curveball, slider, all that type of stuff. Two seam fastball, inside, outside, cutter. I could do everything. So I had a massive ego when it come down to sports, and I got into quite a few fights because I talked a hell of a lot of crap. The people that weren't as good as I was, and my ego got the best of me at a certain time, and I got jumped one time for talking a lot of crap. So ego can get you in a lot of places, and like I said, there's a lot of calls, quite a few causes to that. Like I said, it can be, you know, it as far as your parents are concerned, like your parents could build you up to be such a great person. You think you're a great person, and then you go out in the world, and then you turn around, it's like, well, damn, I'm not as great as I am. So, a lot of ego and a lot of things um, could be the cause for a lot of stuff. But like I said, man, the ego is just basically, how you view yourself a lot of the times. And then K Styles decide he want to go eat some sugar, daddy in the middle of talking uh to somebody. Good God Almighty, K Styles.
Sometimes ego can be confused with confidence, and I don't think I ever had a big ego. I'm just a very confident person
Yeah.
because I know my worth and I know what I'm capable of doing. Like, but some people see my confidence as cockiness
Yeah.
or I have an ego. No, it's not. All right. Again, in order to it says it in the Bible, you gotta have confidence. You gotta have faith.
Yes.
You gotta have, you know, you gotta have that it in you to thrive. If you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in a higher power, how are you gonna accomplish anything?
Yeah. Um and it also says the ego in itself is that's where we go back to putting ego and pride in
Mhm.
yourself. So I said, I like to use a lot of scriptures at times, a lot of quotes from a lot of good books,
Mhm.
and the Bible even says about um the commandments. And
Mhm.
I think y'all gonna like this one. But the commandments, um, there's a commandment there, and I'm gonna give you guys that. All right, yeah. Let me give it. Let me give you all the commandment. But
Now you okay? I thought you were looking for what I was gonna say something.
My
Go ahead.
bad, my bad. I'd have had to cut y'all niece out
We gotta
right
okay,
move
quick.
on.
I'd have
That'll be
cut
part
y'all
of the
niece.
show.
Yeah. She got mad because her mama made her noodles and she
you
wanted
know
to
what?
make them
You know
herself.
what? That sounds like a done problem. You should.
No, she being a
You ain't been hanging
that's
around
she
done.
just that ain't done. No, that she just being a girl. Girls want to do. Girls are hyper independent. They want to do everything on their own. Just let her do
Lord
it.
have mercy.
Look, my daughter, she doing that. She going through that phase now. I
Oh
try to
my
cut up.
god.
I cut up her, taco. I cut up this soft taco so it won't get. I don't want to do it. I can eat it myself. Okay, fine. You choke. Don't say nothing.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Mike. Just let you know I was still here.
So it says about it's pretty much idolatry. Now, a lot of people put, you know, that's what idolatry is. It's pretty much you're creating whatever it could be. Some people use things such as crystals, cars, money, themselves. And a lot of times that's what the ego is. It goes against, you know, the true, how can I say this without throwing that in there? But the true, um, I'll just say God. You know what I'm saying? The true maker, because a lot of times, like you're putting you're putting all your faith and all your belief in based on what you know, and a lot of times that's the thing where ego. You feel as though the things that you know are the center of your world, and a lot of times you don't even have control of the things that you believe in. For example, let's say people love crystals and you buy all these damn crystals and whatnot and say this crystal for this and this crystal for this and this crystal for that, and somebody steal it, it's like, what do you got now? You got nothing. You got no hope. You got none of that. So a lot of times you put a lot of your faith in things, your own understanding, and you could be led astray. You could be led astray, and a lot of times you can be that 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 belief can be it can set you up um to a path of destruction because everything that you thought you knew about this particular you know particular thing end up costing you a lot. It end up costing you everything because you thought you knew everything about that. So that's one of the things about ego. It can set you down a path to damnation, to be honest.
Hmm. All right, so
So
I took some notes here right quick, and we're gonna break them down one by one. And Don, I want you to go and respond to these notes. So, pretty much the concept of ego can be defined between we pretty much already said it. Like you said, sense of self identity and reality tested, and it can also be defined as pride of self importance. So, the pros of what they said the of ego is the engine of action. It says a healthy ego serves as the interface between your internal desires and external world. The ego acts as a shield, helps you set boundaries to say no to mistreatment and maintain a sense of worth during failure. That inner voice telling you that you are capable of great things is often the ego, provides the competitive spark necessary to pursue difficult goals and innovate. A strong sense of self allows for faster decision making. When you trust your own identity and judgment, you are less likely to be paralyzed by the opinions of others, as it also provides a stable narrative of who you are, which helps you navigate social structures and long term commitments.
so I do want to say this. I was going to try to say this because we are talking about confidence and ego.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing with ego, confidence is more of an internal thing. Ego is external because ego doesn't just impact you. Your ego impacts other people that you evolved with.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that your ego, it can be positive, it can be negative. But if you don't have the intelligence, especially the emotional intelligence, to understand that, hey, this may not be a good idea, because if I make this decision, not only is it going to impact me, but it's going to impact other people. And so when we talk about people having egos, you know, we're not just looking at it from the person who has the ego. We also looking at how that person make the person with the ego and making the decisions, how it impacts or really the way they move. Really, it impacts other people that they're involved with. Sometimes it can just impact people who not even involved with them.
Hmm.
See this every day.
Yeah, the choices that you made, because like
The
you
choices
said,
you
you
made.
believe what you believe, and a
Yeah.
lot of time we believe the things that we believe, when you're unwilling to, change that particular point of view or change your actions, and it'll cost, you everything.
This is
People
why.
that invested in you, for example, and in business, we've seen people that's like they're so convinced that this particular thing is gonna make us rich, and then you keep asking this person, "Hey man, give me one more. I need one more. I need anything. Invest. I need another 10,000, man. Trust me, man. If you just give me the 10,000, you get before you realize, you don't get it dude $100,000 for something that's not gonna work. And now you looking at you because your ego won't allow you to admit that this is a failure instead of changing it and changing things and going a different route or investing in something different. It could cost you and it could cost them. And that's where the ego comes in. It's because you've convinced yourself that this is what what is. You end up messing a lot and messing up a lot.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm,
And that's
mm,
why I
mm.
said, like people, you got to distinguish the two. And I know Mike brought up his upbringing, and with me, it's just like I said, I always been a confident person, no matter what it was. It could be in sports, the class when I was learning in the classroom, because I always wanted to be competitive and
Mhm.
be better than everybody. It's not an ego; it's a confidence thing because I know I can do that. Like confidence got me to pretty much where I'm at today. Like excelling at sports, and then got hurt, and then excelling at school, and getting a partial scholarship, going to college. Being married, having a few kids, and you know, in my career teaching. This is what my confidence got me at. Starting podcast, sports podcast, several years ago. So
E- Exactly. So you allowed it to be a motivational factor to do other things.
when you accomplish one thing, you have the confidence that you can accomplish everything.
Exactly.
That's how you should feel.
Mhm.
Exactly. Now now in my notes, now we just talked about the pros of it. Like I said, we're talking about the cons of it. It says when the ego becomes fragile and overinflated, it stops being a tool and starts becoming a prison. An oversized
Hmm.
ego views not knowing as a threat, which leads to defensiveness, where protecting your image becomes more important than acquiring new, accurate information.
Oh man.
If
Boy,
the
that
e- if the ego is always seeking validation or dominance, it erodes
Woo.
empathy. It turns conversation into competitions and make genuine connections difficult.
Oh yes.
A fragile ego ties self worth directly to outcomes. This often results in risk aversion. If you don't try, your ego isn't bruised by a loss. The ego is often filters out information that contradicts its preferred self image, leading to confirmation bias and poor objective judgment.
objective judgment. Yeah.
So, what's y'all take on that?
So the well, let me say this: ego is pretty much a word that was made. It's a more modern word. The word that they use and previously, back then is pretty much pride. So ego and pride is the same thing. A
Right.
lot of times, yeah. So the pride,
Foolishness was another word they used back then too.
yeah.
Foolishness.
Mm-hmm. So those are ego is a word. It's just a substitute. It's a more modern, word for pride. And like I said, a lot of times of pride, you know, it's kind of like the precursor to destruction. When you see a lot of people just doing a lot of things, and I'm saying this as a Falcon fan because we just saw James Pierce instead of just walking away and understanding, like, bro, you gotta take this L, bro. You gotta take this L. Just look, she don't want you. Okay, she wants to move on. And instead of him just saying, like, look, no, you like she don't want to talk to you, you're gonna force her to talk to you. Sometimes you just
Mhm.
gotta sometimes you just gotta learn how to take the L. It is what it
Some
is.
people who have these egos like that, they can't take it loss. They can't take
They
L's.
can't take it.
They do not.
They
They
have to
don't
get
want like L's. Like yeah, they are lost, but they are learning. You learn from that shit. Learn
yeah.
from it and move on. Not to you look. We learn by making mistakes, but we understand by not repeating them.
Yeah, man. That just sounds all too familiar, Granddad.
See,
It sounds all too
Yeah,
familiar.
it does.
But yeah, man, and I think the key word in that is it is it's two things in the con things that struck that piqued my interest. When it said always seeking validation or dominance and it rose empathy, it turns conversation into competitions and makes
Mhm.
connection difficult. That stood out to me a lot
Read that last
because
again. Read that last part again.
it turns conversations into competitions and makes
Competition.
genuine connections difficult.
Because here's the thing: if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody like that, it's not even you're not talking with them.
Yeah.
You're not talking with
Mm-hmm.
them. They feel like they want to talk over you, and you're not going to be able to talk. They're going to always talk out of turn, and they're going to make it like it's to this a conflict, in which it
Yeah.
shouldn't even be a conflict. They turn ant hills into mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm,
Anything you can and say anything you can and will be used against you because you're not
Mhm.
talking to that person. You're talking to the competition in that thing. You're talking to that objective, what that person has. You're not talking to them. It's not
You
reason.
said
You're not talking to reason.
you say anything you say and do, and it also can be anything you don't do. Sometimes you ain't got to do shit, and you still gonna be. It's still gonna use it against you
mm-hmm.
because you didn't do because you probably didn't do something that they
Well,
wanted you to
don't
do.
do is an action also. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much the
it
same.
is.
Right.
But sometimes you know how we be. Sometimes
Yeah.
we can be
Yeah.
nonchalant and not say shit, and
Yeah.
we'll still get labeled as an asshole and all that.
Because you just don't care to get into that particular debate. You're
Because don't
labeled.
nobody want to fight all the time. Like people who has you know empowered themselves. They don't got time to do that. I don't have time to sit here and argue day and night over some stuff that's not really relevant to argue about. It's not life or death. Ain't nobody dying. Ain't nobody losing thousands of
Mhm.
millions of dollars. Like, what are we beefing about? Where we at odds at?
Yes.
And you come to find out that you're at odds about absolutely nothing. And
No,
that
they
that
they you at odds at because you're not at the mercy. You're not. They want you to be at the mercy of them.
Yeah. And
mm,
yep.
That's all it is. It's control.
ooh that's the key word, dog. Control. So so they gave some comparisons here as well that I also have in my notes where they got four features in feedback, confidence, collaboration, and failure. So when we're looking at healthy ego or pride, which can be also used in the word, when you look with somebody that is confidence that uses their ego for confidence looks at feedback as data improvement, while somebody who has a fragile ego will look at feedback as a personal attack.
Yeah. Idolatry. It go back to what idolatry is. It's important of self. Like you're so focused on you being, the most intelligent, the most handsome, prettiest, all of that. That goes back to what idolatry is. And idolatry is essentially it's sinful in its own nature because now you're devaluing not only, you know, people, but like you're putting yourself above everything and everybody. And every time you do that, as people that are not, perfect, that
One
creates another
thing,
that creates another issue, and that's anger because you thinking you so perfect, and then you're not doing
mhm,
things perfectly. You're screwing up your own life. That perfection, that need and seek, Kel. I know you're gonna
yep,
take that one, but that
Mhm.
need to to uh to uh to be perfect, it creates the anger and the
mhm.
frustration.
Because you're never
Perfection.
going to reach perfection. You're never going to reach perfection. Nobody
Yeah.
does.
Mm.
Because you always, when you get to where you at, you're gonna always want more, and then it's gonna each climb is always harder than the last. And my dad told me this when I was young, and I don't have a good relationship with my dad. I really don't. But one thing he did tell me this, and I told my sons this. Listen, this world, you are expecting this world. There's always there's always something greater than you. All right. It's always something greater than you. You always going to work to the greater good of either your family, your peers at work, school, a team, whatever. Then you also have a higher power than us, whichever
Mhm.
religion you believe in. And everybody should have a religion. You should believe in some higher power.
Yeah.
All right. So it's again that right there. It kind of humbled me because he told me this when I was like in high school. All right. And I was already pretty much, I was damn near almost self destructing my life before it even started,
Mm.
you know. So, again, there's always going to be somebody or something greater than you. Either they worked for it or they've been there before you got there, whatever the case may be. So, you have to humble yourself and understand that in this world, there you have a position or you have a status. Everybody has a status,
Mm.
Hmm.
and you should deviate from that. And I'm not gonna get into what's going on in our society with politics and genders and all that other stuff. LGBT. I'm not gonna get into all of that. But when we was created with a status, and you are
Yes.
to stick with that status to the day you die. Yes, you learn and you get wisdom as you get older, but I'm a black man from the South, okay? And guess what? I'm gonna die black man. All right. Like I said, I'm straight. I have 3 kids. I know my role. And
Mm.
Hmm.
that right there, I would never succumb to having a negative ego or a power trip, going on a power trip just cause I have some control over whatever or whoever and just treat them like shit.
Yeah, because they want to come to your demands and how you view yourself.
Mhm. It goes it goes right back to that word conform. It goes right back to conform. Like I
Hmm.
said, if you
Yep.
don't conform to certain people, they're going to, like you said, the fragile mind or the fragile pride is going to look at not conforming as a challenge. And like you said, they're going to use that pride, they're going to use that ego as a mask of the low self-esteem that they have within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, we talk about confidence. As the healthy ego, the confidence is rooted in competence and effort, while the overgrown ego is rooted in superiority over others.
Mm-hmm.
Collaboration values the best idea regardless of source. On the con side, values being the one who had the idea. And we look at failure as a temporary setback in a long story, while on the opposite end is a fundamental flaw in one's identity. But going to perfection, and as y'all brought perfection up, um, this is this, and I'm glad y'all actually tied it into the ego aspect of it, is because I think a lot of times with us right now and how times is, we look at perfection as being the final goal, and we have this anointed mindset that if we don't strive for that perfection or we don't achieve that perfection,
Mm-hmm.
then our lives have no meaning.
Yep.
But the real reality of it is no man, no woman can be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
Mm-mm.
If you're trying too hard to be perfect, I look at it like this. If somebody tells me that they're the perfect this and the perfect that, I'm already gonna look at it like, boy, you got a lot of flaws in you.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime somebody say they perfect, I just automatically my mind just shuts off and just I just want to just find an exit. Like
Yeah, I
again,
agree.
it's not like there's so many. Yes, we are human and we are part of the human race, but there's other species out there too, and I'm pretty sure a bear or a snake or whatever not out there saying I need to strive for perfection. They're just living. We're just living. We're all
No,
living
they
things. We're
don't.
just living in this world. That's it. That's it. That's it. You're gonna be born. You're going to go through life, and then you're gonna get older, and you're gonna die. You're gonna go back into the earth. And you guess what? You're gonna go back into the earth just like every other living thing on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is not created. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
No, it can't.
All right. And as far as perfection go, it's only one person that fulfilled perfection, and that's Dolph Ziggler.
Shut up, dog.
Yeah, no, you got that wrong. That was Mr. Perfect. How you gonna man? Like you should have missed.
Well,
You,
they sell the same way, so is
They
it?
said he is perfection. He is perfection. But
They do
then
be selling moves the same way.
perfect.
I'm like, dude, y'all gotta get rid of that song, man, because he ain't won no he ain't won no world title or nothing. And then they changed. I'm here to show the world. Yeah, that's much better. Show the world your talent. There's don't say you
Yeah,
perfect, bro.
that didn't work either. Did
Hey, what happened? Hey,
Mr.
when you
Perfect
smack,
got
hey,
Mr. Perfect ended up not being perfect and not winning nothing. Ain't that something?
bro, you know what?
Nothing.
Boy ain't won a goddamn thing, boy.
Well, that's what happened when you date Nikki Bella, and then she go to the biggest star to ever grace the
Mhm.
ring, and he pretty much Cena did his work with Ziggler. I don't care what anybody said.
Exactly. Drip over here talking shit. Said this STS show is quiet. Of
Yeah,
course, it's
because
gonna
these
be.
motherfuckers gotta use their brain. Look, they ain't gotta use their emotions here.
Yeah, they got. You spread. You spread about 4 or 5 different live shows going on right now. This was just a little bit different. Terry Lloyd got the $5 super chat here. Said, "Don't let chasing perfection become the enemy of good by having an overinflated ego."
Nothing comes out about it being an
Right.
ego. Telling you right now, I am confident. That's one thing I always say about this. I'm confident about what I do is because I've done it. Like Don and I was doing it for shit for years before we actually seen any type of success. Like
Mm-hmm.
we failed a lot, and I got fired a lot. Okay, that's one thing people don't know. K Styles know, but Don knows. But I got fired a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. Don got fired. We got kicked out of a lot of places. Okay, so when people tell me,
Sometimes taking L's, like you said, sometimes taking L's is a lesson that you learn and you get better.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I failed a lot, bro. We
Right.
all failed a lot. That's why people can look at it and it's like, damn, but how y'all build this channel and that channel and that channel and y'all just keep bouncing back? It's because we failed a lot. We know
Mm-hmm.
what not to do
Right.
more.
Well, Henry Ford, what is it? Not Henry Ford, but Edison. He tried the light bulb 100 sometimes,
Yep.
and guess what? He failed 100 sometimes in order to get it right.
Right. Exactly. But the second part of this is as we talk about, like you said, and it kind of goes into the theme of pride and perfection and stuff. Um, it says in victory, learn when to stop. Basically, for those that don't know, this is Law 47. The concept of it is basically it is easy to let your emotions take over and push for more than you originally intended. By going too far, you create more enemies than you can defeat and often stir up a hornet's nest of resentment. And pretty much what that sums up to is a lot of times, if you have a particular goal or you have a standard of something that you're achieving, the greed is like for a lot of people, once you achieve that success, you have people whose mindset is okay, I achieved this. Let me go up even further. And the thing about it is you always want to strive for that. But the thing about it is you could possibly set yourself up for even greater failure by going past that mark.
Yeah, a lot of our problem is because even with a lot of our goals are self centered.
Hmm.
A lot of your goals, if it's self centered, it's going to take a lot longer to
Mm-hmm.
accomplish those and a lot more pain to accomplish those than it is going to get as a success. You're going to see a great amount of personal, and I'm talking about I'm talking about devastating. Like there's a difference between failure and devastating. When things are not meant to be, it's devastating all around you.
Mm-hmm.
See, you fail. Failure is just um it typically just affects you. But when
Mm-hmm.
you know you're not supposed to be doing shit that you're doing, and this goal is not like this goal is talking to you, you know you don't need to be doing this shit. And that's when people around you start being affected by it. That's when you know when things are not you're not supposed to be doing things. When everybody around you is being affected by your choices.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's a different failure and not than doing shit you're not supposed to be doing. When you're doing shit that you're not supposed to be doing, usually if it affects everybody around you. That's how you
Yep.
can tell the difference between a goal, a personal goal, and learning for something and having doing some shit you know you're not supposed to be doing because that shit affects everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, let me see. Yeah, so it says, why do people usually fail at this? Like you said, we just talked about greed. And like you said, the other thing is the psychological high of when it makes people want to keep the momentum going indefinitely. And a lack of a plan. If you don't define what winning looks like before you begin, you'll never know when to quit.
Exactly.
Scale back, like I said, reach the goal, scale back, recalibrate, and like I said, that pretty much what it is. Cause like I said, the thing is you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and then you trip over that one pebble on the way back home and now you break all the damn eggs in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing about it. Um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, that's but I do want to say this though. And I kind of wanted to stay away from the topic at hand, but I do kind of want to address it a little bit. And like you said, man, unfortunately, we just seen this situation with Rondell Moore and everything that's kind of came down with it. Um, and as far as when it comes to suicide with a lot of people nowadays, and the reason why we're having the conversation about pride and perfection and stuff like that is this is these are multiple factors that leads to people kind of going down that road. Not saying that that's what he went down to. It's a lot of times where we feel like we could have did better in our lives or we feel like we failed. Like you said, a lot of people look at those situations and they're like, okay, so I'm supposed to be the guy that's supposed to get my family out of this. I'm supposed to be the breadwinner. I'm supposed to have this elaborate lifestyle and stuff like that. And you have not all, but you have certain people that feel like if they don't achieve their goals or they run across a bump in the road.
It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world because they don't obtain, and a lot of that comes from that. Like there's a difference, especially as a parent. You got to understand when too much positive affirmation can be detrimental to a child's future.
Mm-hmm.
Can't give them over. You can't just, oh God, what? Look, when they terrible at something, you got to tell them, bro, you bad. I remember, I don't know why it just came to my head, done, but I remember when you were talking, Walmart, and you said he wanted to be a tight end or a wide receiver, and you was like, bro, you not fast enough to be no damn tight end. Like, bro, you need to get, bro, like I don't know what you're thinking, but you need to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
you can't put so much pressure on yourself because you think you're this. Like reality has to set in. It's like, bro, I know what I am. Okay, I'm never gonna play defensive tackle like Kale. Okay, I'm not close to 300. I'm not, y'all. Okay, I'm close. Look, I'm closer to 225 than I am 300. Okay, so I'm never gonna pay that position. So it ain't no need for me to sit up here and try to sit up here and say, Mike, yeah, man, I want to play defensive tackle. I want to be Aaron Donald. Nigga, you 200 pounds. What is wrong with you? So it's things like that as a parent, you gotta understand, like feeding certain things into your child. It's like you got to be real with them. That's what real means, reality.
Mhm.
Okay, not the shit that you think you woke up today and say, you know what? I think I want to be a donkey. How about it, Donald Trump? You can't make me be a human. I want to be a motherfucking donkey today. Okay, that's not reality. That's gonna cause more issues than it's gonna help you. And I think that's the thing we gotta learn, and that's what feeds into people's egos, and that's what feeds into a lot of people's problem because they just wake up one morning and just say, you know what, I'm gonna be damn Saddam Hussein today. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm not Saddam Hussein. Look, I got the clothes on. I stay in the cave like him. You know, I do all this stuff just like him. I mean, I even got the beard like Saddam Hussein. Reality, man. And a lot of people don't like reality day. And I know this shit is gonna hit somebody sideways, but you gotta be real about yourself. I know what I am. I'm never gonna be a defensive tackle. Okay? That's not in my resume. Okay. I've always been 6'3",
Mhm.
6'3" and some change. Okay.
And I
200
don't have
pounds.
an arm on me, and I can't throw foot for shit. But I can knock somebody fucking down. I can knock somebody lights out.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Like I said, like I said, I ain't fast. I'm not fast for shit. I ain't got no. I got no wheels on me.
But that's what I've always been. And like I said, a lot of people be trying to force themselves into a category and everybody to conform in that particular ideal that you are, but it's not reality. You're not a hit. Like sometimes our job is not to sit up here and be our family savior, even though we want to. That's not our job. And again, how you know that it's not your job to be your family savior? It's in the actions. It's not like these people are a lot of people are handicapped or they got this and they got this. A lot of these people are just straight up able people. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But you trying to save able people's lives and say, yeah, I'm going since I'm in this position, I'm gonna make my sister, brother, cousin, auntie healthy, wealthy and whatnot. And they not doing anything for themselves. Like look, and like I said, not to say that we know Rondell Moore, but like from the snippets that I've seen from what I've seen, he was incredibly hard on himself. Like he would
Hmm.
drop a pass and he would go on the sideline. He would just pout, 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 pout. And then you got JJ Watt. It's like, hey, what's wrong? It's like, and I dropped the pass, man. Damn, man, I dropped it, man. And JJ like, all right, bro, no, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's just Wednesday. Look, you got 3 to 4 days to go practice it, get it right. You'll get it. But he wasn't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know exactly what's going on. We don't know exactly what went on, but the warning signs with Rondell was there. That he put a lot of pressure on himself for whatever, whether it's his career, him personally, or his family. He put a lot of pressure, undue pressure on himself to
Hmm.
succeed and to be a success.
Exactly. And like you said, man, it's an unfortunate incident. It's just something that was unfortunate. Like you said, man, is understanding that you want to achieve a standard for yourself, but if you're not giving yourself the leeway to fail, then like you said, it's going to become something absolutely worse than what it is. You got to
Mm-hmm.
give yourself the cushion to fail. You got to give
Mhm.
yourself the cushion to bust your ass and fall on your face.
Yep.
A lot of great players have had fuck ups down the road in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's understanding that you want to live up to certain things. Now, like I said, we don't know the full details of Rondell Moore's situation. We're not saying that this may be it, but like I said, the thing about it is, it's a lot of people that go down that road that look at themselves as, okay, I have to be this and I have to be that, and if I don't achieve this, then I'm a failure at life. My life ain't worth shit.
My life is meaningless, and it's not.
Life is
You
not
just a lot of
meaningless.
people just haven't recognized that. But a lot of people, a lot of times, look, I'm gonna throw a little personal moment in there for me. My mama used to tell me that my mama used to tell me that I was gonna be a preacher, a preacher. She drove me insane about it. She told me that over and over again. Right, I ain't want no parts of being that. Okay, no parts. She said you gonna be helping a lot of people. My mama told me that shit over and over and over again, all the time. I did. I ain't even like being around people. Okay, let alone help people. And being in church too. I don't even like church people. Okay? I'm just gonna be real. I don't even like church people. Look, I watch you faithfully every Sunday because I just don't want to go. I don't like nothing about church. I don't like it. But my mom used to tell me that shit all the time about just like you're gonna do this. Guess what happened? Well, I'm helping people in a different way. You see these two gentlemen right here, perfect example of it. Time and time again, over and over again. They've done it for me and I've done it for them. So it's just a different way of being able to help people. And like I said, man, it's like a lot of times our gifts are right in front of our face. It's
Mm-hmm.
right in front of our face, but we too busy trying to become the next Gucci Mane. We forget that we can shit. We might be a bit better techno.
Exactly.
We might be better in tech. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Than rap. It's the
Mm-hmm.
gifts right there. Like Andre 3000 out here playing fucking flutes on the side of the street. Okay,
He happy in peace and
and he
he's in
happy
peace.
as hell.
Exactly.
A gifts are right in front of our face. Don't
Right.
paint a picture of who you are and you forget to look at the gift that you already exhibit. Like it's right there in your face, bro. Ain't no look, ain't too many people that can out talk me. Okay. I'm just gonna be real. Ain't too many people that can out talk me. I got sometimes I gotta shut myself up because I gotta answer for every fucking thing.
Perfection is not worth dying over.
It's really
It's
not.
not.
It's not worth dying over. And there go
Uh-oh.
Mr. Styles said, to me, you can have an ego, but I feel it's a side of either past insecurities or current.
Yep.
Without a
Yep.
doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah. And it just comes. It's a mask. It could be a transparent mask, or it may not be transparent. But the thing about it is if it's the insecurities that you, if it's the insecurities in your lifetime where it's like, okay, I feel this way, but let me point out my frustrations on you, type of thing is like, it's gonna come back tenfold. But here's another one. Whatever you're the best at, take that takes the least amount of effort is probably your gift. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like I said, use me for a perfect example. My greatest gift is the gift of conversation. I can sit here and have a conversation with somebody that I know nothing about. I may not even know their name. And it's been down there, and I've been down that road plenty of times doing stuff like that. But like I said, once I know how to engage in the conversation in itself, that's why I figured out that's what my gift is in. That made me a good. Do I feel like I'm a great speaker? Fuck no. But I know my limits. But we just gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Like I said, I didn't want to be up here too long here. Like I said, man, STS. Like I said, where we have the conversations, whether we're talking about philosophy, psychology, current events, and blending it all into one with a little bit of sports talk. So until next time, people, we here to play. We here to stay. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the book up out of here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to System K Live, as well as Mike Lenson TV and the Heavy Hitters Live, which we will be on live tomorrow night. Deuces.